Hey everyone, I want to make this, shouldn't take me long to make this one. I want to make a short video about, how awesome is that? I just want to make this short video about patriotism. And I'm doing this because I had a comment today. Someone who told me I should go back home and help my own people. So, first of all, I mean, my home is Earth, which is a rock suspended in a vast, black, energetic consciousness that no one fully understands. Call it the heavens if you like. So my home, if I want to zoom out further, is the solar system. My home, if I want to zoom out further, is the galaxy, further the universe. Beyond there, we can't even zoom that far yet, yeah? The multiverse, whatever you want to call it. So I am home to that person who said, you should go home and help your own people. So I replied to this person, and I mentioned that his attitude to me, it reeks of a patriot, a patriotic type. Someone who believes in these imaginary lines. Imaginary lines that were given to you by the elite, so as you were their property. And the thing is, some patriots, I understand, okay, you can have pride in your heritage, in your history, your heritage, yeah? You can have pride in where you live and a love for your community, for the people, your traditions. That's a great thing. It's beautiful, yeah? And we should have that in life sometimes, without a doubt, you know. It's a diverse planet with different climates, which means we all have to live in different ways. And that's one of the beauties of Earth. But to tell someone to go back to their people means that you see yourself as belonging only to those imaginary lines that you happen to be born into. And the thing is, if you're one of those patriots who's really proud of where you're born, one of those patriots who become borderline racist, you know, because that's what happens with these people like Britain First and stuff, where they say this is our country. It's so ridiculous, like, to be proud of the fact that you were born inside a set of imaginary lines on a planet, when you had no control over how it was that you would be born, where you would be born, or how you would actually be manifesting consciousness within your body, with your family, inside those imaginary lines. You have no control over that. So if that is the thing that you're proud of and living for, you've clearly not really achieved anything in life other than happening to have been born or manifest inside some imaginary lines, which again, you had no control over. So if you find pride in the fact that you were born somewhere, that's fine. But if you find so much pride in the fact you were born somewhere that you live by it, oh wow, I am in the rainforest, that you live by it, then there's something wrong, there's something missing, yeah? And I'm not blaming you because society, people are underserved by society, yeah? I get that. But you can't go around feeling like you're superior because you were born inside some imaginary lines that you had no control over being born inside of. And as I say, if it is your achievement and it is what you're proud of and this is how you define yourself, then you've achieved nothing with your life. I'm sorry. You've achieved nothing. You've achieved absolutely nothing with your life other than the fact you manifest here, which is the part of your life you have zero control over. Yeah? Your free will begins once you are born. So to be proud of where you were born and live by that alone means that you didn't do anything. Oh, So I find the concept, my mind can't comprehend sometimes. So to tell someone to go back and help their own people, I'm helping my own people, yeah? I share this planet, and whoever needs help is my neighbour. Whoever I see is my neighbour and I offer love to, including the person who made that comment. I offer love to, and I'm sorry if you find me condescending by laughing at your patriotism. But to me, it's ridiculous. And the only way for me to deal with it is to laugh at it, because you can't incite hatred towards another or feel that you're better than somebody else just because you were born inside some imaginary lines and they were born inside some other imaginary lines, and nobody had any control over which imaginary lines they were going to be born in. You can't do that. And the reason a lot of you are doing this is media. This is why, you're letting, I mentioned in another video, be careful what light you let into, trying to cross the river without getting wet here, what light you let into your mind. Whoa. And he fell in, it's too slippy. Because light is everything. The light that goes into your mind is of vast importance. And in every spiritual teaching, light and love is part of God. It is God, the light of life, yeah? He breathed life into something. Light is the first aspect of it, vibrations and light. So when man discovered how to create things like the television and, the internet and all this stuff, it's a grand invention, but only if the mind of the man who's putting the light out wants to benefit the viewer. If not, you've got to understand that people can play God on a small scale. So if you own every TV, as Nostradamus said, whose predictions I don't always agree with, but he did say there would be a window to hell in every room, in every home. So, is TV that window? Because whoever controls the TV can then play God. They choose the light that goes in. They choose how you see the world. You spend your time out in nature like I do. And the light that goes in is natural light, yeah? And it's beautiful. And you get messages from that light because photons carry information and they travel on angles of light and they go into your eye and they go through an amazing reaction. And then the image of the world is within your mind, and then you express yourself within that world from there. So light is phenomenal, and the process it goes through when it goes into your mind is it's epic. It's epic. And if someone can control that light, then you've had it. And what you've got to realize is that when you're even tapping into things like social media, like Facebook, if the vast majority of your friends list are people who are being subjected to that light, they're then just expressing that light back at you. So what I mean is if they're getting fed negative messages, negative information through the mainstream media, then when they go on their Facebook and social media, they most of the time will be discussing that at some point, not always. So they're recycling the bad light, they're recycling the bad information which is travelling through the light, which these guys have worked out how to control, yeah? Media plays a huge role in patriotism and this belief that we belong inside imaginary lines. We don't, we live on a planet. Your country is not independent financially, economically, resource-wise. Go to your supermarket, you're eating food from all over the planet. You come to places like Africa and economics is so ridiculous that there are starving people but they're exporting flowers because that's what they can make money from. This is the influence of mass media and supermarkets and mass capitalism, which isn't based on equality. Don't let the light that comes into you be light that is chosen by another person. Because if another person is wanting to play God and control a person, all they have to do is control the light that goes in. The information and the light. The information comes with the light. If you want to hear messages from divine sources of light, you need to be looking at the sky, at the light that's coming to you from areas of the universe that you've never seen or heard of. But it's still traveling to you, and it's still getting to you. And it's still passing on the whisper inside your mind, your pineal gland in the center of your brain, the light reactive gland in the middle of your brain. It's still passing on those messages. Go this way, go that way. But if you're staring at the TV or staring at your phone, it's only a matter of time before the whole vast consciousness of people can be manipulated by a central point on the planet which chooses the light. And it's the mainstream media light that they can choose. It's already down to 6 corporations own most publishers. They own most printing houses. They own most mainstream media, radio stations. 6 families that sit around a table and are wanting fascism, a one world leadership, which has always been wanted since the time of the Huns and time before then in ancient Rome. And it's the same power structure moving through, but they just keep working out better ways to hide themselves. They did it with force with Rome. It never worked. So then, they do it by the shadows. And you can see this by checking basic history. There was a palace in England called No Such Palace. And that palace had all the Roman emperors around it and Henry VIII in the middle. And they pulled it down. Because if they didn't pull that down, everybody would see a clear connection between the fact that the Roman Empire never fizzled away. They just moved into England and started controlling it from the shadows and appointing people from secret, yeah? Rather than pushing with war, because when you have war, people rebel and you don't remain in control. They became more sophisticated, more sneaky, more dark, yeah? So watch what light you take in from the media, and then maybe you will start seeing yourself as not living behind some imaginary lines on the planet, in some weird mindset where you have your own people, you know, as if British people or American people or whatever, European, French people just appeared on the planet. And they just appeared here, and that is who you belong to. Because it's absolute nonsense, yeah? Everything's integrated on this planet. Everything. Everything. Especially the way the planet works at the moment. If you took away the resources of a country like Africa and gave it all to the African people, they would become the global superpower within a matter of decades. And places like the West, like England and Europe, would delve into poverty because they're not benefiting from the resources of this continent. So make no mistake, yeah, you might live inside your imaginary lines in your mind and you might be proud, yeah, I'm British, but you had no control over how you got there. So if you're going to be so proud of it that you're going to be rude to other people who don't live inside your imaginary lines, and tell people to come back inside your imaginary lines to help their own people, then I hate to use the term, but I'm sorry, you're deluded about how reality is, yeah? You're literally deluded. And the reason that's come about is because you're watching mainstream media, is my only presumption. You're believing this stuff that they're spinning, yeah? You're believing it. So, just as you're careful about the food you put in your body, be careful about the light you put in your body. Get out in nature and put this light into your body. Because that light that's coming down from there comes from places in the universe you've never seen and we've never touched. But it's still traveling to you. So who knows what message it can bring into your mind. But if you're watching the light coming from a flickering screen that the elite wealthy have placed on the planet and have developed and have vast control over, then whatever they choose, whatever controlling aspect, whatever controlling thought they want to push on you, it's what you're going to get and it's what you're going to express. So yeah, let's rub out the imaginary lines, guys, yeah? Let's not be proud of something we had no control over. And if you're going to be so proud of the fact you appeared inside some imaginary lines, if you can tell me how it was that you went through a great deal of hard work to be born inside that country before you were incarnated in your mother's stomach as a dot of awareness and consciousness, then I will retract what I say and I will allow you to have pride to the degree that you question other people who didn't manage to manifest inside those imaginary lines. But if you can't tell me the hard work and processes you went through to get inside your mother's stomach, to become that point of awareness and consciousness which has grown into the person you are now, then you haven't achieved anything. So maybe you should get out in the world and start living, start achieving something, and then you won't feel a need to be proud of something that you had no control over. And in doing so, start being civil to people who don't live inside your boundaries, yeah? Start loving them, start treating them equally. Because there is no difference. A child's a child, a man's a man, a woman's a woman. They all feel, they all hurt, they all love. So let's start living that way. Let's stop pretending that we're different, yeah? Okay. Bye guys.